Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. I'm SocietySucks and today I'm checking out The Hunt for Osama Bin Laden by Mitsi Studio. I don't know much about the hunt, the specifics. I just know that he was killed, eventually. But that's as far as my knowledge goes.
This is Osama Bin Laden, once crowned the world's most wanted terrorist. Under his leadership, Al-Qaeda pilots were trained to crash Boeing planes, long before Boeing planes crashed by themselves.
Yeah.
Twin towers, large dust clouds, brave firefighters.
Now you don't even
toward
need
chaos.
terrorists for
Sound
it, they just
familiar?
crash on
Yep,
their
in
own.
the end, it took the US nearly 10 years to hunt this terrorist leader down, from the smouldering twisted steel of Ground Zero to a quiet suburb in Abbottabad, Pakistan. I'm sorry, where? A goat fuck do I know somewhere city in a somewhere province of somewhere Pakistan. Anyway, in this video we will dive into the attacks on 9/11, the decade-long manhunt for the mastermind behind this plot, and the raid on the guy's chill mansion in that goat love-making place which we just mentioned.
Didn't he hide in a cave?
Now, to understand how Bin Laden was able to pull off an attack of this magnitude, we have to go back to the Soviet-Afghan War of 1979 to
Oh, we're going
1980.
back very far
During
then.
those years, the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan because the Soviet Union was a superpower, and superpowers tend to mess around in South Asia and the Middle East. No history book required there. Now, after the Soviet Union was done invading and stuff, they shift changed with the Americans, who were slowly prepping for another shitshow known as the
I'm
Gulf
quite sure the Russian invasion of Afghanistan was basically just a total failure. I don't think they actually achieved anything. Not that the Americans really achieved much more when they tried. We all know who's in charge of Afghanistan now. So yeah, honestly, just don't invade Afghanistan because you're not going to be able to change anything. It's never... The way it is there, it's not going to change ever. No chance.
During these years, a young fighter moved through the ranks and started to build a network of militants and financial backers. These guys eventually formed Al-Qaeda, a militant group who would continue the fight for defending Muslims worldwide. And by defending, we mean blowing stuff up while screaming, "God is the goat."
Yup.
Now, over the years, this militant group prepared their master project, an attack
What is with
on the
those
US
noses?
by hijacking commercial airliners and flying them into buildings. Spoiler alert, they actually succeeded. Well,
Somehow.
since 4 hijackers on Flight 93 were getting their heads caved in by an angry mob of passengers before crashing their plane into a field. So, in the aftermath of the US attacks, President George W. Bush declared a war on terror, which the average American interpreted as "don't trust people with beards." So, in October 2000...
I mean, hey, the terrorists, well, they all kind of look the same. They all usually came from one certain group of people. It's not difficult to tell them apart. The difficult thing is telling apart the actual terrorists from the regular civilians, because the terrorists tend to, not wear uniforms. They tend to just pretend they're civilians and then suddenly pull out a bomb or a gun. Because terrorists don't fight like men. They're cowards that hide behind women and children.
2001, President George W. Bush launched the US invasion of Afghanistan. The mission statement was simple, almost cute really. Destroy Al-Qaeda, remove the Taliban, stop terrorism forever. Huh, easy. Bombs dropped,
No,
the Taliban
not
folded
easy.
fast, and Kabul fell. From the outside, it looks like the US closed the net around Bin Laden in speedrun fashion. Except the net was full of holes. During the Battle of Tora Bora, the US relied heavily on Afghan militias for ground operations, which were not exactly the right people for the job. And additionally, the US upheld confidence that air power was enough to do the job. And ironically, the same confidence was shown by Al-Qaeda 3 months earlier. Sadly, their confidence was a bit more legitimate. Meanwhile, Bin Laden and his group of fighters moved through a web of tunnels GLA style, while crossing the border into Pakistan. After the massive intelligence failure at Tora Bora, years of silence followed. The CIA had little information to go on. No verified selfies from Bin Laden with bearded emojis. No shared locations, just a bunch of audio and video rants sent from a cave shouting "Gula blah 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 blah, death to America,
Pretty much,
zero
yeah.
chill, maximum rage quit."
Just a
without
bunch of
actually quitting.
unintelligible nonsense.
Because phones and the internet were not used, and Bin Laden kept mobile using safe houses and tribal connections, the focus gradually moved away from the person to the network. And this network involved financiers, planners, security operatives.
I mean, the thing is, with terrorist organizations, if you cut off the head, kill the leader, he's just gonna get replaced by another maniac. It's not difficult to do. There's plenty of those fucking retards going around. I mean, look at Iran. Once their leadership was killed, they just got more of them. More extremists, more idiots. And the worst thing is when they're religious, because then it's just a whole nother level of stupidity and extremism.
And couriers. And some were followed, some were interrogated. So this is an example of a courier being followed. And this is an example of a courier being interrogated.
Honestly, a good way to
there
investigate
was
them.
one particular courier who caught the CIA's
If they're working with terrorists, I say torture should be permitted.
attention. By mapping his routes, the courier led the intelligence analysts to a peculiar-looking building in a suburb in Abbottabad, Pakistan. This building had thick walls all around. However, there was no internet, no phone lines, and no letterbox with a sticker
Totally
saying,
not
"No
suspicious at
advertisement
all."
mail, your boy Osama. So, despite not being sure the target was in the compound, there were enough leads
Blow
for
it
the
up.
Americans to start prepping SEAL Team 6 for a visit.
Oh,
And
yeah.
by prepping,
I guess they just wanted confirmation that, yeah, it's actually him. Honestly, the moment it's confirmed he's in there, I would have just sent an airstrike, destroy the whole thing. Leave nothing behind.
I mean SEAL Team 6 style prepping. That means building a replica of the entire compound and starting to play war games like it was frickin' CSGO server. After weeks of intensive training, President Barack Obama gave the go-ahead for Operation Neptune Spear.
What is
In
that
hopes Bin
nose?
Laden was, well,
Also,
actually hurt.
really? All that training?
2 modified stealth Black Hawk helicopters picked up the Navy SEALs from a US base somewhere in Afghanistan. They flew covertly at night across
Again, would have been a
Pakistan
lot
to
easier
reach
to just
Abbottabad.
bomb it to hell.
And upon arriving in pitch-black darkness, one of the helicopters immediately crashed inside the compound. Al-Qaeda pilots were
Really?
taking notes.
Really? How?
Now, despite the crash, the SEAL teams moved quickly, blasting walls and doors as they worked their way to the upper floors. And while doing so, they shot and killed a few couriers and some bodyguards.
Well, everyone in there is associated with a terrorist, so kill them all.
And
No
this
mercy.
bodyguard is now teabagged.
No
For
witnesses.
some dramatic purposes. Reaching the 3rd floor, the SEAL team moved inside another room. In front of them stood a bodyguard raising his weapon. Shots were fired,
Yeah.
and the defender fell dead to the floor. Through the smoke, a silhouette appeared in the back of the room. The SEALs aimed their weapons and recognized the individual. It was
Kill him.
Osama Bin Laden himself. Reports of what happened next vary. Not that it matters a lot, because, the SEALs were there to kill the guy.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
And that's exactly what they did. Nearby, one of Osama's wives was shot in the leg, added kitchen and return key emoji. While restraining more civilians, the men also collected hard drives, laptops, mobile phones, and the dead body of Bin Laden for identification. When the SEALs exited the building, the damaged helicopter was blown up. Immediately after, the whole team boarded the remaining Black
Don't
Hawk.
let
A cloud of
that
dust
technology
was
get
picked up by the
into
rotor
enemy
blades, and
hands.
the helicopter disappeared into the dark night. After the Navy SEAL team arrived safely back at the US base in Afghanistan, the body of Bin Laden was moved to the carrier USS Carl Vinson for a burial at sea. Meanwhile, the
Okay.
CIA plowed through.
I mean, personally, I would have just destroyed the body, burned it until it's nothing but ash. But hey, that's just my own personal opinion on how it should have been done. They gave him that. Okay.
the evidence taken from the compound. Besides tons of valuable information, analysts also found a few things they were not expecting at all. For
Like
example,
what?
cartoons of Tom and Jerry, an episode of Mr. Bean, a documentary about sex crimes in the Vatican, and the viral YouTube video Charlie Bit My Finger.
There's no fucking way.
Additionally, his laptop contained the shooter game Counter-Strike. He probably wasn't any good. Otherwise, he would have checked double doors and wall-banged a few of those counter-terrorists running up and down his stairs. What a noob. Anyway, we hope
Counter-terrorists
you enjoyed
win.
this video about the world's most wanted terrorist. We've got tons more videos exploring all the dark chapters of history.
Again, like I said, I feel like they should have just blown up the compound. Would have been easier. But it makes sense. They wanted confirmation that it's actually him and that he's actually dead. Now, if only they could do something similar with all of Iran's leadership and, just kill every single one of them until they have no one left to replace them with. But yeah, whatever. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing and leaving a like. If you want to see more reactions, check out this video right here. And with that, I hope I'll see you in the next video.